Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with true heel heat wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello. It is me, your true heel phenom, SP3. We are back once again with another pay-per-view preview, this time for TNA Rebellion 2024 from Las Vegas, Nevada, to talk about TNA and to preview one of the huge TNA pay-per-views of 2024. I am joined by the man who helps you keep track and keep up to date on everything going on TNA Impact every single week with instant impact on our shorts. It is your boy, the marijuana enthusiast himself, Chris G.
What's going on, everybody?
They are good out there. How are you feeling, and how excited are you for TNA Rebellion coming up this coming Saturday?
Well, it's a hell of a day to have a TNA event, right? 420. I think it's kind of fitting. The card looks good. The build-up's been decent. It's still a little weird being in this like post Scott D'Amore era, but you know, we got a few good matches to look forward to. So just like any other TNA card or a TNA live event or premium live event, so to speak, they always put on a decent card, so should be fun.
Yeah, the title matches I'm very much looking forward to, and then the big grudge match on this card I'm looking forward to. So I can't wait to talk about it, but we can't wait to talk about it with you as well. This is a pre-recorded preview, but you could sound off in the live chat if you feel free to do so if you're watching us on the premiere. But more importantly, sound off in the comments down below. Give us your prediction. Who do you think is going to win? Nic Nemeth versus Moose for the TNA Heavyweight Championship. Jordan Grace versus Steph DeLander for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Josh Alexander versus Alexander Hammerstone. Last man standing. Let us know in the comments down below. We appreciate y'all for watching us. Show that appreciation back. You could do it in the simplest way possible by dropping the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. And if you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. So we're going to start off how we always start off these pay-per-view previews. 0 to 10, Chris G, your buzz level for TNA Rebellion coming up April 20th, this Saturday.
I want to say it's only like at a 7, which is kind of low for the, you know, compared to prior years for Rebellion. I feel like Rebellion for the last couple of years has like been a big show, or they like made it. They've been building it up as like a big show, and it feels like this time around there's just something missing from it. But once again, it could just be me tripping off of this Scott D'Amore post Scott era. Still, you know, still trying to find my footing here. So, yeah, it just feels weird, but 7's still a solid buzz.
Yeah, I think I'm about at a 7. I'm very much looking forward to the main event, and yeah, it still feels like TNA is still trying to find their footing in the post Scott D'Amore era. It feels like Chris G is having Scott D'Amore withdrawal.
Yeah, man, I'm getting cold sweats. I can't sleep at night. I need my weekly dose. I'm not even gonna say it.
I need my weekly dose of Johnny Swinger. Come on, man. I need my Scott D'Amore.
Come on,
tropes.
Daddy. Come on, Daddy.
Scott D'Amore tropes like Johnny Swinger gimmicks, and everyone has a dungeon or some stupid thing. They got to use certain rooms.
The underground casino was fire. Good times.
Oh Jesus, what a time. But yes, let's talk about TNA Rebellion. They have already announced their countdown their countdown matches for the pre-show. We're going to have the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships up for grabs, as it's going to be Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat defending against the Decay, Rosemary, and Havoc. Decay won the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships back at TNA Hard to Kill in January. They lost the titles back to MK Ultra a month later, but MK Ultra then lost the titles to Spitfire following that, and Spitfire is going to be looking to hold on to these titles a little bit longer than the previous two champions, but they have to go against one of the premier tag teams of the TNA Knockouts tag team division for the last couple of years. Decay here. Who do you have winning, Decay or Spitfire?
I feel like the last couple weeks they've been trying to build up Decay, as like the top contenders, the top threats for the tag team championships. But it's just I hope they're not playing like roulette again with the titles, to be honest. I hope, they actually take their time to build up Spitfire as like a formidable tag team that's worthy of those championships. So I'm gonna say Spitfire gets the win here. I wouldn't be surprised if Decay wins, but I hope Spitfire gets the win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with your line of thinking of let's hope for the best here and not think the worst is gonna happen, or the habit that they have of kind of playing hot potato with these TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. I do think Spitfire deserve to hold the titles, and Danny Luna is someone that just recently signed with TNA, someone that they may be invested in as the future of the Knockouts division. So I would like for her and Jody Threat to have a nice run here.
Yeah, I mean, she's been exciting to watch since she's debuted with the company, in the short amount of time that she's been with them. And Jody Threat's solid, she goes in there, just tosses people around and shit. But I'm excited to see, what kind of chemistry they could build and to see if they could actually build some of the tag teams in that division other than, just one or two at the top. It feels very top heavy, and then everybody else is kind of thrown to the waist. So maybe this is a starting point.
It really only feels like they have like one or two tag teams at a time, and then they just put together singles people.
Yeah, pretty much. Hopefully they take their time to actually build the depth in the division.
That takes time, but we got also on the countdown show, the pre-show, this one, man, this is good. If this don't make you want to go out of your way to watch this pre-show, then you don't know these 6 performers, but it's going to be ABC and Leon Slater going to go up against the Rascals of Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and the third member of the Rascals, Myron Reed. This should be fast-paced. This should be a blast to watch. Who do you have winning?
So the only one I'm not really familiar with is Leon Slater. But the other 5 guys in the ring are pretty good. They all work well together. The Rascals work well together. They've been a tandem for however many years, damn near a decade, maybe more. Even this version of the Rascals that we haven't necessarily seen much of impact, you've seen them in other places. The fact that Leon Slater's on the card, or well, not on the card, but on this team with ABC makes me feel like he's there to get the pin or take the pin. So I'm going to go with the Rascals and Myron Reed.
I am also going to go with the Rascals and Myron Reed. I haven't been keeping too much up to date with TNA Impact as of late the last couple of weeks, with WrestleMania and everything going on with AEW as they head to Dynasty, which is also the same weekend as Rebellion. I've been busy with that stuff. New Japan's had big shows as well. That's kept me busy. So I haven't been keeping up to date as much with TNA Impact. But one thing I did note is that Myron Reed, they featured him on television as kind of like a re-debut or reintroduction for him, helping out the Rascals get a win on Impact Television. So I think that this is going to be the formal introduction of Myron Reed, and maybe we get a graphic sooner or later saying that he signed with TNA.
Yeah, because we seen him like debut in a segment or two, maybe like 2 months ago, and then he just kind of, just felt. I don't know if he was hurt. Maybe he had some contractual obligations that he had to work through first, but he disappeared and then reappeared, which is fine with me because I like the Rascals and I like this version of the Rascals. I like Myron Reed. I seen his stuff in I think it was MLW like years ago. So I think it's been years. He's probably a better performer now, and I'm excited to see what he could do in TNA.
I am as well. And Leon Slater is someone who's like been a prodigy of the UK scene. Kind of like a lot of people call him a young black Will Ospreay, because he's like very high flying, very athletic. I've seen him in the ring. This guy is absolutely amazing. If he's able to pull it off on the show, go out of your way to see his Swanton 450, which
Oh,
is
that's him. All right.
him. Yeah. Oh yeah. I
That's
just had to
him.
say the movie. You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
know that viral guy.
Oh, that's all you had to say is the one viral clip. Yeah, I know that guy.
That's hilarious. A nice guest spot here.
Yeah, we got another
Oh,
viral clip. Get your ass out of my face, Simba. He just loves being on stream. This is every Wednesday, by the way, on Elite Heat.
we're going. Well, let's talk about the main card as we got a big grudge match here for it's going to be Full Metal Mayhem, TNA's version of tables, ladders, and chairs, as it's going to be Eric Young going up against Frankie Kazarian to kick off TNA, the new era in January. Two of TNA's kind of stalwarts, TNA legends, EY and Kaz, teamed up together as a tag team, a team TNA tag team that fell short at Hard to Kill's pre-show against the System. But from there, after taking a loss to the Grizzled Young Vets, it was Kazarian who turned on Eric Young. But Eric Young beat Kazarian to become the number one contender for the TNA Heavyweight Championship, losing to Moose at Sacrifice thanks to the interference of Kazarian. So now these two bitter enemies, former friends, now bitter enemies, will battle in Full Metal Mayhem. Chris, what have you thought about the feud and the build-up to this matchup, and who do you think wins?
So it was weird, right? Because like I seen the turn coming. I seen the tag team. I seen that part. I seen the turn coming. The turn finally happens. Then they have a match. It's almost like it started to feel like, all right, enough is enough. End this. And then they kind of just like revamped it up, and now it feels personal. And now the build feels like, all right, like now it's getting interesting. And now you throw in the Full Metal Mayhem and stipulation. Now I'm willing to be like, all right, I kind of want to see Kaz and Eric Young fucking rip each other's head off. You know what I mean? So they TNA always puts on these good Full Metal Mayhem matches. I know these guys are going to show out because they just know, they're professionals. They know how to show out. So then given some time, this would be the show stealer potentially.
Who do you think wins?
Ooh, I think Kaz gets that win. I think you got to build up Kaz a little bit. I love EY, but I think Kaz needs it a little bit more.
I think with this new heel character for Kaz, he needs some credibility building wins because, right now we have a heel heavyweight champion. I don't know how much longer, including the show, how much longer that run's going to be. And if there's going to be a babyface world champion, they're going to need credible heels to face. And I think that they get that with Kaz getting the win here to kind of build himself up for that main event scene.
Yeah, agreed.
Next one I am really interested in because we recently got to chat with one of these gentlemen here, and the other one of the gentlemen that's in the corner, we just had intro or preview here, as it's going to be the first class duo, Rich Swann with top dollar AJ Francis in his corner versus another friend of the channel, someone we've had interviewed here before, Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry and Rich Swann had a match in January on Explosion where Joe Hendry beat Rich Swann, and it kind of rubbed Rich Swann the wrong way. AJ Francis started to get in his head, talking about he's a former world champion. He can't let Joe Hendry disrespect him like that, and Joe Hendry was disrespecting AJ Francis as well after their interaction at Hard to Kill. But then during their matchup, after weeks upon weeks of the mind games of AJ Francis manipulation, it finally got to Rich Swann, and he turned on Joe Hendry, costing him his matchup against AJ Francis. They have now formed First Class, a duo that is all about being selfish, basically, and getting theirs, getting as much money as possible from the wrestling business. What do you think about the formation of First Class with Rich Swann and AJ Francis? And what have you thought about the rivalry with Joe Hendry? Who do you think wins?
Well, I think the rivalry with Joe Hendry has been funny. Like, it's been entertaining, to say the least. They jab back and forth. Joe Hendry's just a creative mastermind, whether it's a diss track or just, dropping bars, calling him Uncle Phil, whole bunch of other shit. And then Rich Swann, I'm happy for Rich because I feel like he needed something different to he just felt like he was like the gatekeeper, or he was just in that one of those type of roles. And to give him essentially his first like heel persona that I've ever seen in fucking 10 years of Rich Swann. You know what I mean? This is the first time I've ever seen him turn heel. It's an interesting new layer for him. So I'm happy to see where he takes this. It's working for me. You know, he feels all like not obnoxious and shit. AJ Francis,
Absolutely.
you know, on a weekly basis continues to I guess, you know, build confidence and just kind of improve like in his all-around game. If he could, you know, put it together in the ring, then she'd be a lot more formidable, and I think people will stop giving him as much shit as he gets. But I think the build's been cool. I'm not really excited for the match because I know how Joe Hendry gets down, but then again, Rich Swann can have a match with anybody. So I think he could bring the best out of Joe Hendry, and we might get, you know, something nice. I think Rich Swann gets the win. You're building up this little, you know, new heel persona, and like we said, we might need to start building some heels. Who better than a heel with a heater like AJ Francis? You know what I mean? So we'll see where it goes. I'm gonna go with Rich Swann.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Rich Swann getting heated up, even if it's for like the X division or another title, or even them in the tag team division. So yeah, I do agree with you. I think Rich Swann gets the win. I just like them as a duo. I think this is gonna work out for Rich Swann, and it's something different after years and years of Rich being the same character. Really, it's nice to see this kind of new coat of paint on him.
Yeah, for sure. And AJ Francis, you know, working with a guy like Rich Swann, who's been in the business, who's well respected, who could kind of help him out along the way, you know, show him the intricacies of being in the ring and stuff like that. Hopefully he learns and he improves on his game.
Shout out to Rich. Check out that interview we got for True Heels BTR, where we talk about his heel turn and his association with AJ Francis. So check that out right now on the YouTube channel. But someone else that we might be seeing soon on the channel will be in this X Division Championship matchup. It's going to be Mustafa Ali defending the X Division Championship against the number one contender, Jake Something. Jake Something won the special challenge made by Mustafa Ali with multiple participants, 6 participants in total. It was Jake Something who pulled out the victory, and Mustafa Ali was indignant by this because he thought that the X Division had some sort of weight limit, and Jake Something is definitely over whatever weight limit he thought it was, and he did not know that Samoa Joe and Abyss, who are former X Division champions. It's been funny seeing Mustafa Ali react to the fact of going against Jake Something. He's been throwing different challenges at Jake, and Jake has been overcoming it. Who do you think walks out with the victory here, and what have you thought about the build-up?
It is hard because I like the build up, right? I like how they're you know, throwing all these obstacles at Jake Something, like slowly building them up, you know, to kind of get this moment. But fuck, man, Mustafa Ali's just so good right now that it's like, do you really want to take the X Division title off of him? So it's hard to call. It's been a good build though. Ali's been great, and they've been doing a good job of building up Jake Something as just like another guy that's gonna contend for the title. Feels like he has a legitimate chance, but I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna say Mustafa Ali retains the title.
I think that the Mustafa Ali run needs to last a little longer. I think that Jake Something may be the guy to maybe a month or two from now be the guy that does dethrone Mustafa Ali, but it just doesn't feel like right now is that time to do it, unless Mustafa Ali is going to Japan for the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, and then all bets are off. I could see Jake Something winning this tournament now that Yo is apparently injured, and Mustafa Ali can take that spot in Japan.
That's interesting. It would be cool I would like to see him, you know, have a couple bangers out there in Japan. So I guess we'll find out.
We shall find out very soon, but we have more title matches to discuss. For the TNA World Tag Team Championships, it's going to be Speedball Mountain, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Trent Seven challenging the champions, the TNA World Tag Team Champions, The System, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers. Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Trent Seven formed their tag team right before the TNA rebrand in January. Trent Seven officially signed with TNA in January, and since then, they've been building momentum as a tag team. They won in 6-man tag team action with Nic Nemeth over the system that has earned them this opportunity at Tag Team Championship Gold. We've seen singles matches over the last couple of weeks between these 4 men. What have you thought about the build-up to this matchup, and do you think Speedball Mountain can become the new tag team champions?
Build-up's been all right. It's been more about feel like just like introducing Trent Seven into the Impact universe, like little by little, you know. I want Speedball to hold some gold. So with that being said, and I don't think the system's long for TNA. I think it's going to implode very soon. So with that being said, I think Speedball Mountain gets the win.
Okay. I really want Speedball Mountain to win, but I think that you are right with the system is not long for TNA and they are going to have their downfall, but I think their official 100% downfall is still to come. It's going to be not at this show, but probably at the next pay-per-view, probably like Slammiversary. So I think to continue the system, they need to have some gold, and I will have Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers retain here.
All right. This is the first one we got different. This is the first one we got. We're going different directions.
Next, we got in a last man standing matchup. It's going to be Josh Alexander going against Hammerstone. It's Hammerstone Alexander 3. It was at TNA Hard to Kill. A free agent Alexander Hammerstone went up against Josh Alexander in a heavyweight slugfest that Alexander pulled off the victory. Then at Sacrifice, they had the rematch where Hammerstone was officially signed by TNA following that great matchup at Hard to Kill. He gets a TNA contract, but he wants to make a statement in his first official matchup with the company, and he cheats to beat Josh Alexander, low blowing him, and then taking a trophy of the headgear of Josh Alexander, the signature headgear of Josh. This has led to a very personal rivalry between these two men, brawling around the impact zone. Tommy Dreamer has gotten involved trying to separate these two men. Tommy Dreamer, letting it be known, revealing he is the guy who was responsible for pushing for Hammerstone to be hired by TNA. And Hammerstone doesn't even care about that. All he cares about is himself attacking Tommy Dreamer, leading to Josh Alexander coming out to make the save. Who do you think gets the win here? Last man standing.
I mean, you would think this is tailored for Josh Alexander to get some revenge and some comeuppance against Hammerstone. But the fact remains, one man did not want to resign, but had his contract extended. The other man did sign with the company and is looking like he's getting a push to be a major player soon. I think Hammerstone gets the win. It protects Josh. It's a last man standing match. So I think both guys, come out looking good. I can see, it can go either way, but I think Hammerstone's getting the win. I think you got to build him up too. I mean, he's just a win over Josh Alexander is big, especially so early in your TNA Impact career. And Hammerstone's good. He's a guy, if you've seen him before and you know who he is, like, he's a guy that you kind of want to push. So I think this will be a good win for him. I think he's going to get it.
Now, this is the one that I pinpoint to be a show stealer. I think that this is going to be hard hitting. It's going to be very physical. It's going to be intense. I'm going to go with Josh Alexander to get the win and to close off this chapter of the rivalry. I think that this is going to be a rivalry that they revisit down the line, maybe with the TNA Heavyweight Championship involved, because I think that, Hammerstone is a guy that they are going to build around because he's young. He's a prospect. He hasn't been featured on any of like WWE, AEW. He was a main star for MLW, but that's not as well known as TNA. So I think they can build around him and he could be a future TNA heavyweight champion. But I think for now, the thing to do is for Alexander to get this win, because I feel like whoever comes out of the main event, Josh is not that long. I think Josh is probably the challenger for Slammiversary.
How long is Josh going to be around? And this
he got his contract extended. He got
only
no,
for a year. And
hey,
it doesn't sound like he really
that's
wasn't
a
his
year.
choice.
He gonna be here for Slammiversary. He gonna be here for the rest of 2024. So let's use him.
He's a Scott D'Amore guy. Scott D'Amore guy. I don't know.
Hey, he'll probably go to WWE when his contract is over.
Maybe. You never know.
I think so.
He'd actually be a good fit for them.
Probably. They'll probably be able to put him on NXT, though.
It's fine. Start him off slow.
That's true. But I want more for Josh. But yes. But yeah, I think that Josh gets to win because he's going to be in the main event at Slammiversary. But next we got the semi-main event for the Knockouts World Championship. Jordan Grace will defend against Steph DeLander with Matt Cardona in her corner. It was a 8-4-1 match in Philadelphia to determine the number one contender for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Many people thought that this was tailor-made, or this has been building up really for Ash by Elegance to get that win and to set her up for Rebellion to get the matchup with Jordan Grace, because Ash by Elegance has really been teasing getting an opportunity at the Knockouts World Championship. But out of nowhere, Ash by Elegance pulls herself from the matchup, and Steph DeLander makes her return to TNA Wrestling. She lasts until the final four competitors in the 8-4-1 match when Matt Cardona makes his return to TNA Wrestling, hitting Rosemary with the radio silence and helping Steph DeLander pick up the victory to become the number one contender for the Knockouts World Championship. Matt Cardona and Jordan Grace have a history of their own. It was Jordan Grace who was the first ever digital media champion, and it was Matt Cardona who defeated her to become the second ever digital media champion. So can Matt Cardona have an influence on SDL and help her win some championship gold from Jordan Grace as well? What have you thought about the build-up and the return of Cardona and SDL, and who do you think wins?
They work really fun as a tag team or as a duo, so it's fun to see them in TNA now doing that. It's always good to see Cardona come back, being a dick, hitting women, helping out his homegirl. I think the build's been cool because there is that history with Cardona and Jordan Grace, so it's almost like he's vicariously living through Steph DeLander, which is funny. But I don't think Jordan Grace is going to lose this title anytime soon. I like Steph as a challenger, but I don't think it's her time to win the title. Especially, I don't think she's signed long term to the company. So
we didn't get any graphics indicating that she was a long-term solution for TNA. So that is smart. And we should also mention that Sean Rossap on Tuesday, April 16th, he did tweet out around, I think this was around 10:05 p.m. Eastern. Several promoters have noted that Matt Cardona has informed them he suffered a torn pectoral muscle and will require surgery. So we want to send our best wishes to Matt Cardona, and hopefully he heals up quickly. I don't know if that puts into question his appearance at Rebellion, if he's able to travel to be in SCL's corner. It may change the booking or what they were going to do, but I don't even know if he's going to appear now because of that injury.
Yeah, it sucks, and that's a heavy injury to have. As we've seen with Cody, takes a little while to come back from. So positive energy for Cardona. Hopefully, he comes back better, faster, stronger.
Absolutely agree with you there. And then let's finally for me, I'm going to go with Jordan Grace to retain. I do like the deathmatch king and queen gimmick with Steph DeLander and Matt Cardona. I think that they can be a successful act in TNA wrestling. But I don't know. I just need some indications that this is more of a long-term thing. And I'd definitely be down for Steph DeLander to win the TNA Knockouts World Championship. But I think that this whole big run, this is going to be a big run for Jordan Grace, and I think that it's going to at least last until Slammiversary.
Yeah, I agree. I like stuff too, man. Since the Persia Parada days, so it's good to see her in this role and coming back with like this little character with Cardona. Hopefully she gets a shot. I just don't think it's going to be right now.
And then finally, Chris G, we have the main event, what everybody's talking about for TNA Rebellion, TNA World Championship up for grabs. Moose defends against the wanted man, Nic Nemeth. It was Nic Nemeth who made his debut in TNA Wrestling back at Hard to Kill, interrupting the title win celebration of Moose after he won the TNA World Championship for a second time, defeating Alex Shelley in the main event of Hard to Kill. It was Nemeth who made his debut, laying out Moose with the Danger Zone, running up into the crowd, ripping off his shirt to reveal a TNA shirt, to reveal he was signed with the company. And since then, these two men have kind of been having kind of like two ships kind of parallel with each other. Nemeth had to go and overcome Steve Macklin, but then after a six-man tag team victory, Nemeth and Speedball Mountain getting the win over the system, it was really Nemeth who seemed like he was in line for a TNA World Championship opportunity. Moose has kind of said that Nemeth is not ready for this type of role, that Moose is tailor-made for being the leader of the system and the TNA World Champion. What have you thought about the build-up, which is probably the longest build of any other matches on this card, because this really started at Hard to Kill, and this was pretty much at the end of Hard to Kill, you knew the main event of Rebellion was going to be Nic Nemeth versus Moose. So what do you think about the long build-up for this matchup, and who do you think wins? I will give my prediction first, and I will say new TNA World Champion, the wanted man, Nic Nemeth.
The build-up has been good. It has, how can I say this? It's good to see a former superstar that we used to have faith in at one time come to another company and seemingly look like he has a fire relit in them. And that's what I see with Nic Nemeth. Like, since, you know, the little mini feud with Macklin and the match, I mean, was just great. If you watch his New Japan matches, the shit that he did in New Japan was pretty cool. You know, he had that match with Tanahashi.
No, not yet. He's the Tanahashi got hurt. It's the Tomohiro Ishii matchup, definitely, I would say, for anyone who wants to see the best match Nemeth has had since he's left WWE, that was probably that one at Windy City Riot.
Yeah, I'm I'm sorry, I didn't mean Tanahashi. I meant fucking the guy who he beat Finley.
Finley,
the first match that I was referring. That's what I meant to refer to, because I'm not a Finley guy, but that was a fun match. But yeah, coming to this match, it just feels like once you see Nic Nemeth basically sign with the company, it's almost like, all right, we know who the next champion is, because he has the most name value out of anybody in the company. You know, once he signed, he's easily the biggest name in the company because of all the experience and outside exposure he got being with WWE. People forget that Nic Nemeth is like a stand-up comedian. He's like in pop culture. He does things outside of the wrestling business, and he has name value. So I think it only helps TNA to make him world champion. Kudos to Moose. You know, he ushered in the new era as the heel champ. But it's time to put the title on a babyface and see where he goes with it. And Nic Nemeth is the right guy.
I agree with you. I think that it's just it feels more like Nemeth, even though he's been kind of splitting his time between New Japan and TNA, he feels more like a TNA guy. And I think that you have to kind of seal that by having him win the TNA World Championship. And this is something that I've been down for since he debuted in the company. I was like, he's the guy that you give him the ball just to see how far he can run with it, with him coming in the way he did.
Yeah, absolutely. I always had love for Dolph. So it's good to see him in this moment. Hopefully he gets this his spotlight. He gets his opportunity to be the guy and take the ball and run with it. And we'll see how far he goes.
Yeah, but I think we're get Nemeth and Josh Alexander at Slammiversary. That's what I'm looking forward to.
See, now even if you get that match, does Josh Alexander win?
Probably not, but it's fine.
It's
Nemeth
still a
just got the
fire
ball.
match.
Nemeth just got the ball. We just got to get him off and running with a big main event in his first title match on pay-per-view. So I think
It would be a
Josh
fire
Alexander.
match.
You do the rematch with Moose at whatever pay-per-view they do in May. I don't know what they do. Then Slammiversary, Josh Alexander. You don't got the machine guns anymore. We heard earlier before we recorded, the news is that the machine guns is heading over to AEW. What do you think about that?
Oh, they want to play with their friends over there. They want to have 5-star tag matches. I like the guns. I love the guns. I think in AEW, I mean, it just adds depth to that tag team division. So, got guns in FTR, guns in Aussie Open when Mark Davis is healthy, guns and Bucks. Obviously, if you want to see that again, like there's a lot of possibilities with the guns going to the AEW. So I'm here for it.
Guns and Lucha Bros, give it to me. Guns and Top Flight.
Is Phoenix alive? Like I feel like I
Yes.
haven't seen Phoenix in fucking years.
Apparently, he's coming back in May. He had the whole visa issue. Remember back like in October? That's like a 6 month.
I thought he was hurt again.
No, that's like a 6-month thing with the
shit.
visa. I think he was hurt, but it was also he had a visa issue as well.
Well, I hope he's healed up now, and I hope he stays healed up.
Because he's always hurt. So
yeah, that's why I'm like, shit. I got the Lucha Bros were even a tag team at this point.
But thank you so much, Chris G, as always, for giving me your TNA expertise as we break down another TNA pay-per-view. But we want everyone to enjoy TNA Rebellion this Saturday, April 20th. It'll be available on pay-per-view, Triller TV, and more. You can also get it on Impact Insiders, Impact, or TNA Plus as well. But Chris G, let everybody know where they can follow you, where they can see all your content, whether it be shorts or Elite Heat or anywhere else.
You can find me at True Hill Chris G, but you can see me on Wednesdays, usually on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel with Elite Heat, with my boy Josh, as we watch Dynamite, AEW Dynamite. And then on Tuesdays on the wrestling channel, on Wednesday mornings, you can catch the review of the Tuesday Priors NXT. That's NX60. And then Instant Impact Friday mornings covering Impact Wrestling from the prior Thursday. And if you like sports, True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, you can catch me on the YouTube with your daily NBA or MLB recaps and the TikToks. We're doing TikToks too. So you want to just TikTok / True Hill Heat Wrestling or True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, you're going to find us. You can see everything there as well.
Booyah. There it is, y'all. Go over and follow us on all the social media platforms. Also, patreon.com / True Hill Heat, $3 a month. Exclusive content, the True Hill Heat Prediction Championship. Chris G's over there with
you could catch me there too.
Yes, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. I swear he's doing more content than me, folks. But check out all the great content we got here on the wrestling channel, like Collision Discourse number 29, reviewing
a great thumbnail.
Reviewing AEW Collision and AEW Battle of the Belts 10. We also had Rated Raw review number 17, Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, talk about Monday Night Raw this week. We also got tomorrow live here on the channel, 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time. We got our AEW Dynasty preview, breaking down the show this coming Sunday from All Elite Wrestling, featuring Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. And if you like me and Chris G talking about stuff, go over to True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. If you need an NBA playoff preview, True Hill Heat Check number 12, where we previewed the NBA playoffs, which start this Saturday. So much going on this weekend. Playoffs, 420, Rebellion, Dynasty, it's all, and we just came off of WrestleMania. Wrestling and sports will never give us a break, but we appreciate y'all for joining us and letting us be your voices and and talk about professional wrestling and sports with all of you. We always appreciate the support and the time. For Chris G, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our TNA Rebellion 2024 preview. We are signing off until next time.